Jeff and Jeremy. It's like a radiogasm.
I said, hey, babe, check it out on the podcast.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
and Spotify.
All this is going viral.
More cowbell.
There's some there.
Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. We're going to give away another $100 today.
Maybe if the person calls. I mean, you have a call. That's the problem.
Are we going to do it? Is Seth going to do it? Or is Suzanne going to do it? That's the key. Obviously, I don't know if you heard, but it happened late on Friday with Suzanne. Maybe she goes double shot. Maybe we do it here in a few minutes. I have no idea. You have to stick around and find out. We don't know until it pops up. It's the KZOZ $1,000 playlist. You can win yourself $100 every day. We're also giving away $1,000 to somebody. Details and more at KZOZ.com. Brought to you by Perry Ford Lincoln. So check this out. UK, they love to do these weird surveys. They talk to people who went to music festivals about drugs and their sex life. And apparently they found out drug users spend less time in normal positions than most normal people. And would you know what the most normal position is called when you're in the act?
Wait, drug users or drug dealers?
Drug users.
Okay. Missionary.
Yes, that is what normal people do.
Mm-hmm. Drug dealers are not like that. Oh,
well, they like to spice it up a little, or maybe they like to
just look at the Hunter Biden photos. I mean, that should tell you enough right there.
He's admitted to the drugs and the sex.
Right, but,
here's the photos to prove it.
Yeah, if you look at the photos, there's not much regular stuff going on there. That's not a 9-to-5 guy, that Hunter Biden. I'll tell you that right now.
Drugs have become merely a humble pastime to today's youth and wild and free. According to this study, they found out that is the least popular position. They do everything else. So there you go. If you want to spice it up, that's an option for you, I guess. The problem is, I think all the drugs that you're talking about that Hunter Biden did were illegal, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're drugs nonetheless. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean that. I think if you go into that deep of a drug on the spectrum of drugs, if you're going that deep, it is going to get crazy. It's going to get way crazy to the point where you don't even care that your dad is possibly going to be the next
at some point
president, and you're like, crack cocaine and hookers sounds like a good idea. You
are going to want to spice it up a little bit. Now, you've known your wife for, I don't know how long you guys been together, 10 years? You've been together longer than that?
My wife and I?
Yeah, my wife and I have been together for 27.
2000.
Okay, so I can give you a little advice on this.
2007. I've been 14 years now.
Okay, 14 years. Well, maybe you're already there. I don't know. But, you're going to say, hey, why don't you change your hair color or cut it? Or... I remember I was joking around with my wife once about she's kind of a blondish redhead or strawberry blonde, I think they call it, but definitely more blonde than anything else. And I'm like, have you ever thought about being a brunette? And then one day I came home and kid you not, she's sitting there and she is a dark brunette. Oh. Do you remember we came over to your house? It was when you lived in Arroyo Grande out by the Pike. We then went over to your house and she had this really dark hair.
See, that's the
and
thing.
It about floored me. I came home and I just started laughing, and every dream and hope that I had of my wife changing her looks a little bit just to spice it up a little, I fell right on my face on this one because I don't know what happened. I just walked in, I started laughing, and she started crying and ran off. And I was like, no, I love it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm laughing. Didn't matter. No way. Never again. I so screwed the pooch on that one. So then cannabis became legal.
So you were forced to screw the pooch, huh?
So, anyways, I know there's some new strains of the Kush Kush Kabush. Maybe if you want to go legal, you can experiment with that.
It is going to spice up your sex life, though, if you could get off the couch, depending on the strain, right? I mean, you got.
Yes, you don't want to get the one that's going to make you go to sleep.
Talk to your local bud tender. Say, I want to. I mean, that's the great thing. These guys.
You got any aphrodisiac cannabis?
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, hey, I'm looking to spice up my sex life. They'll probably have an answer for you. Whereas when you were buying it from a guy, at a park somewhere, he had no clue.
The $1,000 playlist, active and running. Your songs could be coming up in mere minutes.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I hear you guys arguing about the Twizzlers or the Red Vines.
Yeah.
I'm 62 years old. I love the Twizzlers. They're great. They're the best.
Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
They're hollow. And the other ones are solid Twizzlers. They're good.
Very personal question, Dennis.
Go ahead.
How long have you smoked cigarettes?
Oh, probably forever.
Okay. It doesn't surprise me that your taste buds
Dennis,
are shot to hell.
Would you stop
It doesn't surprise me that your taste buds are shot to hell.
You're going to attack the guy because he doesn't agree with you?
No taste buds!
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Weekday mornings 6 to 10 on 93.3 KZOZ Rocks.
Don't forget, you can follow the program via the podcast. Jeff and Jeremy in the morning is how you search it out. Make sure you get the in the morning on there. It's uploaded to KZOZ.com. It's on our KZOZ Facebook page, but you can search it out on your podcast player. Just search Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
55% of people in a recent survey said that they feel like they've completely lost their sense of community over the past year, which is a big bummer.
It's been so weird because it's been so, I can't think of, just nasty politically, I mean, politics really became such a big, nasty thing in the last election, and depending what side you were on, and if you weren't on the other side, I mean, neighbors quit talking to each other. Then this pandemic hits.
Family members stop talking to each other.
And everybody just goes off and becomes recluses, and then the vaccine happens. And then it's like, holy cow, if somebody hasn't got a vaccine and somebody says, hey, did you get your vaccine? And then you say, no, I haven't got it yet. And they look at you like you're a diseased individual, and they run from you like you already have it.
In a recent survey, it was conducted by, I don't know what their agenda is, MediFriends. But whatever MediFriends is, they asked 2003 Americans some questions about their relationships. And right around 50 and then up to 60%, 62% to be exact, answered that they feel more comfortable opening up to people that they only know online. That means sharing your most intimate details with somebody that you've never met in person before, but that you only know online. That would be like.
I wonder if that's because, like, the repercussions, it's not face to face. It's not real almost. There's a person online, and you can be open with them, but not have to actually see their expression or their reaction in person.
I mean, that would be like
it's almost like putting up a wall. You know what I mean?
That would be like us sharing, details about our relationships with our spouses with Brian on Facebook. It's weird.
Because you need to talk to somebody about your relationship.
Right. And they feel more comfortable opening up to people they only know online because I understand it. I do understand the psychosis behind it. I feel like it's entirely the wrong thing to do, though, and super unhealthy to only open up to strangers, essentially, because you don't know these people. And who you know, is that really them? Is that a true representative of themselves, of what they are portraying themselves to be online? No, it is not. People, former Cal Poly basketball coach, Joe Calero, he came in here and once, and I asked him, and this was before pandemic. Now I couldn't imagine what it's like for coaches of sports colleges to get information because they can't go scout these guys because of the pandemic. They'll hopefully get back to that. But I said, is it easier or harder to recruit people now that they just send in videos because that's what they do. They do a highlight reel.
Because you're not traveling all over the place.
And he said it best. He said, it's terrible because you think somebody's good and then you watch the video. So then you make this investment to go out to Ohio and check them out and see if you want to actively recruit them. And then you see them in a game and it's no representative of what it was that he sent you because he sent you the highlight reel. And that's the top 2% of what he does. And the other 98 is the most important because that's how the kid is playing. And I feel like online we get the top 2% of everybody's efforts.
You think about social media, everybody's social media profile page. It's their highlight reel, right? It's the best parts of their life.
And the weirdest thing about this,
not the day-to-day.
In this survey, over half of people said that online friendships take much less energy to maintain than those in real life. But yeah, that is true. But how meaningful is it if it's a lot less to maintain? Like I've been saying this for the last few years, and you know because my presence in social media, who I was a big proponent of social media for a long time. I have flipped 180 on this.
Yeah, I feel like
it's just toxic as toxic could be.
You've seen the
evils of it.
360 of, if you will,
180
of social 180. Yeah, sorry.
360. You turn around and you just sit in the same spot.
180 of social media now, and it took time, and it'll take more time. But I honestly think it's the biggest problem with our society.
Oh, wholeheartedly.
Now, we have social media pages and we use it because I really like to get instant feedback, and it's great that people are so glued to it that as soon as we ask a question, we'll have 50 responses within minutes.
Yeah, but then how often do they get toxic? Like last week,
and people are more willing to put a response down on Facebook than they are to call into the show anymore and talk to us.
But it's so toxic because you put up the simplest comment last week. We went into the orange last week. The minute we went into the orange, Jeremy posts on the Facebook page, haha, we're in the orange. Yeah. We're in the orange. And within 20 comments, it got mean and nasty.
Oh, it got very political and gross and mean. And yeah, it just goes there so fast.
And why? Oh, I haven't referenced this in a long time since we were in community college. Ghostbusters 2. Negative slime. That's what social media is on our society. It's the negative slime from Ghostbusters 2.
It really is.
It turns the Ghostbusters on each other.
So I don't know.
That's what social media has done.
Maybe try to remember that when next time you're about ready to rip somebody's head off.
Yeah,
you don't even know.
And you're not ripping anybody's head off. You're typing furiously on your keyboard. Okay, there's a big difference. Ask the guy that got hit by Conor McGregor.
Wake up.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
This is kind of gross. Here we are. We have a professional athlete that has a lot of friends and a lot of followers. Fans, not friends. I'm sure he has a lot of friends, too. And
depending on what the salary is.
He decides to give one of his fans something that has his bodily fluids all over it. And some people are into this. I mean, some people are. It's Tony Hawk, by the way, and it was a skateboard. And the bodily fluids were blood. Fan ate it up. But some people are into that. I mean, have you ever?
My daughter. My God. The other day I was throwing my son. My son is kind of learning how to swim, but we just put him in a life jacket and he tools around the pool. And he likes it when I throw him up in the air because he lands down in the pool. But he wants me to catch him sometimes because sometimes he'll go under the water and then he doesn't like that too much. So I tried to catch him, but then he came down, his chin hit my collarbone because I threw him really high. And his chin hit my collarbone, and then he bit his tongue and started bleeding. My daughter's over diving for coins. They have these coins that you dive for in the pool. And she's over diving for coins, and she's like, I was like, oh, it's bleeding. And as soon as I said it's bleeding, she's like, swims across the pool faster than Michael Phelps and goes, let me see. She loves blood. I don't know what it is about my daughter. She's so strange. Anytime you say,
that is weird.
Somebody's bleeding. She's like,
better work on that.
I want to see what blood is. It's crazy.
That could either go good. She could be a doctor or a serial killer.
Luckily, she's very kind, so hopefully she goes the surgeon route. It is crazy. I'm like, why do you want to see blood so much?
Gross.
It's intriguing to me.
Apparently, though, if it is authentic blood, it can make something worth more money to collectors.
So what are they doing? Testing the DNA of the skateboard to make sure to authenticate it?
Do you know how much a DNA test costs? It can cost thousands of dollars.
Is that what Sotheby's or Antiques Roadshow does when they're like, well, do you know if this is because according to the internet, he's type B. Is it type B blood? Do they go down that route? Because what if it's somebody else's blood? Then it's
he
ruined.
says it's his blood, so maybe he'll sign a piece of paper.
I believe it. How much was it given to somebody?
It was given to somebody, yeah, but they're now saying it's a collector's item. But I don't care who the celebrity is. I don't want any of their fluids.
Tony Hawk
Saliva
is
down.
such a big celebrity, though. I mean, he is like in that space. Tony Hawk is bigger than Jordan. I mean, he is the end all be all of anybody who's ever gotten on a skateboard.
You put this in a case, or you put it up on your wall on a shelf, and you hang it there, and your buddy comes over and go, "You see that spot on the board right there? Tony Hawk's blood."
No, you probably just set it in the corner next to your Mexican blankets and your right next to the Mexican blankets, and then the flag of California that you use as your curtains for your apartment. Not the stereotype skateboarders or anything.